Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today we're getting all bundled up to head out to Trader Joe's because we're on the hunt for pancake bread.
And today we're going to try the new free samples.
Free samples, always the best part. Good morning, Andrew. How are you in there? Oh my gosh, that's the cutest thing ever.
Andrew.
He's ready to go shopping. You ready, Benny?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Did you get your free samples? Yeah.
They are good.
They are good. Good. Okay, we found it.
Bye.
Looks delicious. Did we find it, honey? What'd you say, Ben?
Bye. I did.
Found it right here, yep. Delicious. Okay, so that was a successful mission. We found the pancake bread. I cannot wait to taste this and then try to recreate it in my kitchen. So I've been seeing this pancake bread all over the internet. I read several articles that were like top 5 best new products at Trader Joe's for 2019. And I've also seen a lot of people review this on YouTube. So I knew I had to go out and try it, but I figured that if it was good enough, I would just recreate it in my own kitchen. So now I'm going in for a taste test. Okay, so I'm home with my pancake bread and I snipped off the ingredients from the back because I want to save those so I can reference them later as I'm trying to recreate this. But I thought I could do a little unboxing for you. Surely this qualifies, right? We're unboxing this delicious loaf. Okay, I see people on YouTube do this all the time and it really is a challenge. I'm not left-handed. Gotta do this with one hand. Oh, there she is. Okay, I have to take a whiff. Let's see. We're going in for a sniff. You are too. Not as mapley as I was expecting, but I still have high hopes for this one. Moment of truth. Ooh. Okay. Oh, that's so good. Whoa. Right off the bat, I can tell you it is super moist. I was not expecting that because I've actually tried some other like loaf cakes from Trader Joe's and I was kind of disappointed. What's up, Em? You want to try it too?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta get some for the kids. But it's kind of just like a really moist cinnamony coffee cake. Not too cinnamony, but just like a typical coffee cake kind of taste. And then when you swallow, like kind of the aftertaste, it's totally like maple syrup. It is so incredible. I can't wait to try to make this myself. Okay, so yesterday I tested a couple of recipes that I created for kind of a knockoff of the Trader Joe's pancake bread, and I'll insert some footage of that here. One of my breads had a vanilla pudding base and I used melted butter as my fat, and the other bread I used more maple syrup as my sweetener and it used vegetable oil as the fat, but no vanilla pudding. And I used the same kind of cinnamon sugar crumble topping on top. And the final results, I really didn't like the vegetable oil based bread at all. Like I didn't really like the taste and I didn't even think the texture was as similar to the pancake bread from Trader Joe's as it could have been. The vanilla pudding base cake was really, really good. It was super moist, it had a nice buttery flavor. I thought it could be a little bit sweeter, and it definitely needed more maple. So I made a couple of tweaks to my recipe from yesterday, and I'm gonna put it all together today. So I got everything prepped ahead of time. I'll start by going over my dry ingredients quickly with you. In this mixing bowl here, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 3.4 ounce package of instant vanilla pudding mix. So I just took my whisk and combined that all together. And now I have my wet ingredients. So that starts with 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I really like that flavor over the vegetable oil, so we're sticking with the butter. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon to start of maple extract. I have 1 cup of my homemade buttermilk, which was 2 tablespoons of white vinegar that I put in this little Pyrex measuring cup, and then I topped it off with whole milk up into the 1 cup line. And then, oh, I already mentioned my butter, but it's over here melted. I was letting it cool a little bit. So I'll pour my butter in, and I'll add my buttermilk in. And I also used half a cup of maple syrup and a 1/4 cup of white sugar as my sweetener. The maple syrup just didn't give enough maple flavor by itself, which is why I added the maple extract, but I also wanted a little more sweetness, so I bumped it up with a 1/4 cup of sugar. So let's whisk all of these wet ingredients together. It smells super mapley, which I'm really happy about because that is definitely the prominent flavor in the Trader Joe's pancake bread. I wouldn't say it tastes like exactly like pancakes, but it definitely tastes like maple, which I love. Okay, so wet ingredients are all mixed together, and now I'm going to incorporate my dry into the wet. So we'll start with about half of the dry ingredients. I'm starting with my whisk today to kind of get any lumps out. I might have to transition to a rubber spatula if it gets a little too thick. We'll have to see. Okay, this smells amazing. I'm really, really excited about this concoction here. All right, we'll do the rest of our flour mixture. And I think I am going to switch to my rubber spatula. I'm getting really excited. I don't really do a lot of recipe testing or experimenting because we didn't need 3 loaves of pancake bread, but we have been snacking on them. I froze some of it, and we've got a 3rd one today, so. Oh, this is definitely gonna be the best. Just by the smell alone, I can tell. Now, I mentioned I started with 1 teaspoon of maple extract. The flavor of extracts tends to kind of de-intensify during the baking process, so I might add a little bit more because we really want it to have a nice strong maple flavor when it's all said and done. I'm gonna add 1 more teaspoon of maple extract. We'll mix that in. I think we're ready to go. I tasted it again. I think we're gonna have a winner. I am thrilled, and I can't wait to bake this. I have a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan here that I generously buttered, probably with about like a teaspoon or 2 of really soft butter. So I just used my hand and rubbed it all over the inside, and then I sprinkled it with flour and tapped it around so that it coated all of the inside. This helps the quick bread rise inside the pan, but it also makes it super easy to remove from the loaf pan when it's cooled off. I'm gonna transfer my batter into the pan and then add my crumble topping for a finishing touch. So I'm just mixing the crumb topping with my hands. In here I have half a stick of cold butter that I cubed up. I have a half teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 cup plus an additional tablespoon of flour. I found that when I made my crumb topping yesterday, it was almost a little bit too moist and I wanted it to be slightly drier, so I added that extra tablespoon of flour. I have 2 tablespoons of white sugar and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and just a little pinch of salt. So I'm using my fingers to break this down into really small pieces to coat all of the butter in the flour and sugar mixture. I have my batter in my pan and my crumb topping over here, so I'm just going to sprinkle this all over the top. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna bake this for about 40 minutes. I'm definitely gonna check it at the 40-minute mark, and then I might need to bake it just for a couple minutes longer. Yesterday, I used my meat thermometer to check the internal temperature of my bread. I had read online that it should be at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and when it was done, it was perfectly at that temperature, so I might do that again today just for fun. But of course, you could also do the toothpick test, where you stick a little like wooden skewer or toothpick inside, and if it comes out clean, your bread is done. But I really don't want to over bake this, so I'm going to check it definitely at like the 38-40 minute mark, and then kind of go from there minute by minute. But I think it's going to be really good. Okay, here goes. My pancake bread took exactly 45 minutes in my 350 degree oven, so now I'm going to turn it out onto this plate. I'm just going to cut around the edges. Oh, I can already tell because I buttered and floured it. It's going to come away really easily. Looks good. Okay, so we've got our platter here. Just gonna, oh yeah, I heard it. It came right out. There we go. How beautiful is that? Of course, we'll flip it. Okay, so we'll just flip it over. Woo! I'm excited. My whole house smells like pancakes and maple syrup, and I cannot wait to try this. Okay, so the moment of truth has come, and I'm gonna give my version of the Trader Joe's pancake bread a taste. Wow. Okay, it tastes almost exactly the same. It is so good, so moist, a little bit dense, but in a good way. I love that vanilla pudding. It adds a lot of moisture and vanilla flavor. And the crumb topping's nice and crunchy. It definitely needed that maple extract for sure. That totally bumps up the maple flavor. Oh my gosh, I love this so much, and it's still a little bit warm, which makes it even better. So the only thing that I didn't quite master this time around was the crumb topping, but I did a little research on Google, and it turns out that if you add your like coffee cake streusel topping on top of your bread about halfway through the baking process, that's really going to help it stay on top. Basically, you have to let the batter beneath kind of set up so it's structurally sound to hold the weight of that crumble topping. So if you're baking this bread for about 45 minutes, at about the 20-minute mark, just pull the bread out, sprinkle the streusel topping on top, and then put the bread back in the oven to finish baking. And hopefully that'll solve the problem. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more recipe videos like this one. And you can find me on Instagram as well at Ann's Family Recipe. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen, and I'll see you again soon for another family recipe. For the full recipe, check the description box below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen.